Even though you're seeing $3,400 of profits from traders using my system, I still take losses. It happens to everybody. So I'm going to show you in this video what happened, why it happened, and what I plan to do to fix it. And hopefully you can learn these same lessons without having to experience the pain of losing the money like I did. Let's get to it. Now, I lost two different trades, two different ways, and they were both my fault, but in different ways. So let me show you the first one. What we do is we trade reversals, all right? And so we're trying to find the tops and go short, trying to find the bottoms and go long. One of these are gonna be like, how'd you lose money? And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. Anyway, so it was this candle right here at 8:59 Central Time. I had a sell trade here. This candle was the entry. Hit for me nicely. It was like 120, 150 as far as profit goes. Super solid trade right here. Now, I thought at this point that this move was going to be basically this move here. I thought we were going to get this nice trickle down. I wanted to be a part of it. So the algo enters for me on this one. I exit a really, really tight stop here because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But as the candle started to form after, so I'm out of the trade now. As the candles are going, I'm like, oh boy, price is about to go down and I'm missing the trade. So this candle forms, it runs up a little bit, and I decide to jump in manually. Even though I have an automated system that trades for me, I decided, why not? I'm gonna jump in myself. So I get into the trade, and immediately it runs and hits my stop. I had a very tight stop, we ended up losing 6 points on this one. I wasn't confident that the move was going to fall down, but I wanted to be a part of it. If it did, it didn't, and I got smoked. This was a case where my bot entered way before, it gave me a trade. I needed to be happy with that move and just be patient and wait for the next one because the next one did come like 10 minutes later and it was pretty sweet. We ended up making a decent amount of money on this candle and some on this one as well. Sorry to interrupt, but this is our 2-click system. It's an automated algorithm that does the analysis and then enters trades for you. You would enter a sell position at all these sell tags and you enter a buy position at all of the buy tags. Is it perfect? No, but what does it do? It does 80% of the work, the analysis and the trade entering. You go from a day trader to a portfolio manager. If you struggle with consistency, what you're consistently lacking is an entry method. That's the exact same, is an entry method that can get you into really good spots. We trade reversals. Why? Price doesn't always break out. And matter of fact, it only breaks out about 20% of the time. So we're gonna trade the way that the market trades, which is back and forth mainly. Then we're gonna use a smart candle confirmation to find the best spots to enter. That's what the tags are. Those tags don't repaint. They stay the exact same forever. So when you see a tag, boom, your trade gets entered. And if you're trading your personal accounts or your prop firm accounts, this is designed to help you get payouts and help you grow your accounts without you having to do all of the legwork. If you'd like more information about this, there's a link below. Schedule a 20, 30-minute call with me. We'll cover the details. And if you think this could help me out, I'd love to talk to you and have you part of our small community. We are cranking right now. We have no plans to stop, and this thing is only getting better. Hope to see you soon. Enjoy the rest of the video. Now, my second loss of the day came on this buy tag right here, and I went long. And you're probably thinking, how did you lose this trade? And I'm looking back at it like, Here's what happened. Okay, so we get a buy tag here. We catch the bottom of this little move here, and we get a nice rip up. As a matter of fact, at the end of this candle, our candle moved in total about 19 points, almost 20 points. Super solid move. Here's what happened though, is we had this humongous move down. And I'm gonna measure all of these candles here just to show you. So at this time on a 1-minute chart here, this is 27 points. This bad boy right here is 32 points. And then this candle before we got in, that red candle as well, was 30 points. And I believe ours was 24. This candle right here, 25. All right, so humongous candles. Previous to this, the candles weren't that big. And the way I know this is we look at the ATR. So here's the ATR. If you guys are unfamiliar with what the ATR actually is, it's the average true range. Go to indicators on your chart, type in average true range. It will pull up under technicals, change the length from 14 down to 7. You're gonna measure the 7 previous candles, make the style nice and thick so you can see it. But this thing just tells you how big the average candle is over the past 7 candles. I wasn't paying attention to this when my trade opened. Had I done that, I probably would have expected a 15-point move, one way or the other, right? And so if I'm gonna set my stop according to the ATR, I probably would have expected to put my stop at 12 to 14 to 15 points. This candle, that green candle, would have pulled back on me a little bit, right? But it wouldn't have hit my stop, and then I would have been able to capture this and most of that as well. And at least some of this, right? At least this little margin in here. I would have caught that. But I didn't. I did it because I wasn't checking the ATR. This is highly important because had I done this, I could have avoided this and I would have added another 360 bucks to my P&L instead of taking it away, right? So I had 2 losses today. That was the second one. This one over here, unbelievably, this is just my ego. This was the first one. Now, how am I going to avoid these in the future? Well, number one is check the ATR when you get into a trade. What is going on with price action? If you see humongous candles, you need to measure them so you know what's coming. That's one. Okay, that's the first piece. The second is sometimes a trade gets signaled and you just need to let price work itself out. Here is an example where the signal obviously fails. We get a buy signal here, next candle, boom, straight down. Nothing wrong with that. The trades you're going to hate yourself the most on, especially if you're trading reversals, are going to be these ones right here where you miss out on a nice little push up and in fact you take a loss. Like it almost looks impossible to take a loss on this, but I did. And I just wasn't giving price enough respect and room to actually make that move. Okay, now that's trade 2. We're going to avoid that one. Trade over here, 58 right here. This one to avoid is actually very simple. It's just we don't let our ego get in the way of taking trades. When you're trading reversals, what you don't want to be is the smartest guy in the room. You don't want to be first to a trade. You don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. Why? Because what could happen is you get into a trade that you think is going to come down and boom, it just rocket ships straight up. And that's a problem because if you catch yourself in front of one of these trades and it's like price is kind of running to your stop, it's going to hit your stop and blow by it. And if you're using a stop, that's a market order. And so you could get a fill that's way worse than what you were expecting to lose and end up really like crippling your account. So you don't want to do that. When you're looking at reversals and you take a trade, sometimes all you get is all you get. And so I have to be comfortable with that, not sit here and try and recapture all these trades here. Just be like, you know what, that's a move. I'm done with it, no problem. Same thing with this one actually here. I wasn't trading at this time, but had I been, trade would have entered here, price ran down. This was a 4-point move, 5-point move. Put my stop at 2 points in. If it gets hit, it gets hit. The very next candle would have just erupted on me and I wouldn't have had any chance of being profitable at all, right? So you give and take. Like this was the trade, I need to settle with that. This one over here though, this trade right here, I didn't give it enough space because the ATR was larger than I expected. Over here, trade 1, ATR was sitting at about 11. So having a 5 to 6 point stop like works out. Like that's perfect. Like I'm basically halfway between what the ATR is. That's good enough. Maybe 7 points would have been probably about right. Over here though, 7 points gets me diddly and I actually get smoked because I wasn't paying attention. I should have been at like 12 to 13. Now, I see the ATR creeping up like this. What I should have done is taken my contracts down from 2 to 1. Had I done that, I could have given myself more space and I would have been able to avoid this big loss. I wouldn't have had as big of a win, but I wouldn't have had as big of a loss, which would have bolstered my returns. So that is that. That's how we can avoid simple and easy mistakes. This one was just ego, and this one was just technicality. Like I didn't respect what price was doing. Gotta do a better job of that. So if you have things in your trading where you're like, hey man, I got stopped out on this trade, or I thought the trade was gonna happen and then it didn't, the first thing you have to do is make sure that you don't blow your account by making one mistake. If you blow your account using if it's just one mistake and it blows your account, like you're going to be like living on pins and needles and you're never going to be consistent because you're always going to make mistakes. Like you're a human being. It's part of it. Okay. So that's number one. The second thing is, even though I did take 2 meat-headed losses here and here, I still had plenty of room. Actually, this loss took me from, I was up 3, I think, or I was up almost $400 down to like $90 or something like that. I was up $90 after this trade, I think. And I had to race it back up, and I wouldn't have had to do that if I hadn't had this loss. But both of these losses didn't cripple my account at all. This one, I was up $200 and I ended up being like down $100, or ended up finishing $100 up after this trade. This one, I was up like a few more dollars, and then I gave it back on this one as well. So neither one of these losses like blew my account. But if that's how you trade, it's going to be very difficult for you to be like scale up and truly be successful and consistent over the long term. So those are the errors. If you have trades where you're like, man, I really messed this up, send the timestamp to me. Like send your time zone, send when the trade was. I can take a look at it, review it, and tell you like, hey, you're an absolute idiot, or actually you were right. You just did this one thing wrong, and you can fix it. So all of your trades, you're never going to be perfect. You will lose trades, including me, obviously. That's part of the game. It's not making the same mistakes over and over and over that will help you get from where you are to where you want to be when it comes to profit, payouts, and consistency. I'll see you in the next one.